Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mr. Sandman here. Today I have a very special video for you all. I'm going to be building my very first PC. I'll also explain some of what I'm doing and why I chose some of the components. For the parts which require a lot of time and thought, I'll just edit it out or speed up the footage. So let's get started. So first, let me show you all of the components which I will be using for the build, which include the peripherals. I used PC Part Picker to organize my build, but unfortunately it didn't take into account the shipping costs, which was an issue. So first up, we have a 4TB Western Digital black drive, which I'll be using for video production. Now over here we have some HyperX Fury 16GB RAM from Kingston. Chose this RAM because of the good reviews on the websites that I looked at, and also I didn't choose 32GB because I don't see any need for it at the moment, but I did buy a motherboard which supports 32GB, so that is an area for upgrade in the future. Now moving on. So now we have the GPU. This is a Gigabyte GPU. I've had very good reviews that I've seen on the internet, and the GeForce GTX 980 with wind force cooling. Another area that I allowed for upgrading in the future is on my motherboard. It allows for two-way SLI, so that I can add a second GTX 980. I did not buy a second one as the budget didn't allow it, but it is another area for upgrade in the future. Moving on, we have the Death Adder Razer mouse. I chose this because it had a lot of good reviews. Now this isn't the 2014 version, although I didn't see a 2014 one on the website, but it is not a 2014 one, it is a 2013. However, it did have very good reviews, and so that's what I'm going to use. It's pretty good. Moving on, we have the CPU. This is the Intel Core i7 4790K, allowing for overclocking. Just let me focus. Yeah, so I read a lot of good reviews. It allows for, some people were able to overclock it to 5 GHz from the base 4 GHz. So I might try and do that, although I think I might just stay at 4.5. As you can see, I did get a CPU cooler, liquid CPU cooler, so that might help for overclocking. Next up we have the PSU, the power supply. I chose the CX750M as I needed a cheap but reliable 750 watts or more, and this is the one I went with. Not a whole lot of thought process went behind this one. As long as it had good reviews, I went with it. You know, it was cheap, it was good, so, you know, chose it. Next up, we have the TP-Link PCI Express adapter for a wireless network, because my motherboard does not allow for Wi-Fi capability. It's only got Ethernet, so because I'm in a spot which I can't get Ethernet, I decided to go with this Wi-Fi thing. It was just an added thing I required. So yeah. Next up we have the Black Widow Stealth Razer keyboard. I believe this is 2013, although I could be mistaken, I can't quite remember. But yeah, I chose this because I liked what I saw. I came into buying a keyboard with the want of a mechanical keyboard. I did use one about 8 years ago, but for the past 5 years I've been using Mac keyboards. But yeah, decided to try out a gaming mechanical keyboard. So we'll see how that goes. Next up here we have Samsung SSD 840 EVO. Now this is 250 gigs of SSD. This will be what I run most of my applications with and boot up the OS and run the OS. Had very good reviews on Amazon, and it was cheaper than the other SSD from Samsung. So yeah, I just went with this one. Now here we have the CPU cooler, the H55 from Corsair. Is liquid cooling, so should allow for some decent overclocking, I believe. Yep, let's get this down. Yep. Should be good, I hope. It's probably the cheapest one of the liquid cooling, but you know, had to cut somewhere. Moving along, we have some thermal compound, which I purchased on eBay. I saw this on PC Part Picker, and I didn't realize at the time that the CPU already has some, but that doesn't matter. I can have some extra, you know, just in case. But yeah, I'm sure this stuff is good. Costs $9, so it's pretty good. Here we have a very important part of the build. We have the motherboard, the Gigabyte Z97X SLI motherboard. It allows for dual SLI, dual BIOS, I believe, and yeah, it's a very good motherboard, I believe. Hopefully it works. By the way, if you're interested, tell me in the comments if you'd like some sort of, in the description, some links to these products. If you'd like, I can do that. Just tell me in the description, in the comments. Moving on, we have the LG IPS LED monitor. I think it's 23 inch, yep. 23 inch monitor. So hopefully this does alright. Not much to it though. Moving on here, we have the Gigabyte S2000. Extremely cheap speakers, you know, I just wanted just some speakers because my monitor does not come with any. So just chosen just because they were cheap, and they had good reviews, so no thought with that at all. Here we have a DVD writer. Just a very good optical drive by Samsung. Hopefully it is reliable, you know, just in case I have some sort of need for an optical drive, although these days, you know, not much for it. There we go. And finally, to hold it all together, we have an NZXT Phantom 530. Extremely awesome case, I believe. And yeah, I think it's the center point of the build, really, apart from the GTX 980. And guess what color it's in? You guessed it. It's in red. Here it is. It's pretty. I actually really like this case. You can open up the front here. Got space for 3 optical drives for some odd reason. Got a fan at the front and a fan at the back. Space for 3 fans at the top. Yeah, a fan at the back, as I said. Yeah. Space for cables, I believe. Yeah. So there we go.